Hi and Assalamualaikum to Puan Siti Azrina binti Adanan. We are from class MAC22AB and we are going to present about Capital Expenditure Analysis. So before I start the presentation, I'm going to introduce our group members. So our group consists of five members. My name is Nur Najihah binti Zahari and I am the first presenter. So the second one is Noor Ida Iziana. Next, the third presenter is Sofiya. The fourth presenter is Mohamad Aliff and our last presenter is Nur Syafiqah Iman. So as you can see, these are the topics that we are going to cover in this video. So there are introduction to capital expenditure analysis, benefit and importance capital expenditure analysis, important factor in making capital expenditure analysis decision, and lastly, its financial method in analyzing capital expenditure. So firstly is the introduction to capital expenditure analysis. So what is capital expenditure? Capital expenditure is the money that an organization or corporate entity spends to buy, maintain or improve their fixed assets. So it is considered a capital expenditure when the asset is newly purchased or when money is used towards extending the useful life of an existing asset, such as repairing the roof. So example of fixed assets are buildings, vehicles, equipment or land. Capital expenditure analysis, or known as capital budgeting, is involves determining the value potential of a project or the investment. So it is referred to as net present value (NPV), which is an analysis of incoming and also outgoing cash flow. So in this case, when capital expenditure constitutes a major financial decision for a company, the expenditure must be formalized at an annual shareholders meeting or a special meeting of the board of directors. There are two considerable factors when analyzing capital expenditure, which are quantitative and qualitative. The quantitative focus more on identifying the relevant costs and also the benefits over the project or product's life cycle, while the qualitative are focused on some relevant costs that cannot be easily expressed in financial terms. So to measure sustainability impact, external costs and benefits may be considered. We can say that sustainability impact on qualitative data have to be incorporated in decision making to ensure that the capital investment is more attractive. Next, I will pass to Noor Ida Iziana. Thank you.
Thank you, Nur Najihah. Alright, in this section, we will look at an example that demonstrates how environmental factor may be accounted for in capital investment decision. As an example shown in the slide, at Cormac, the energy that was consumed by air compressor was considered to be a major part of the total energy cost of the molding process. Cormac needed to purchase a new compressor, but in the past had assumed that a more energy efficient compressor may be too expensive. A cost analysis revealed that while an energy efficient compressor would cost $70,500 more than the conventional model, it would save $5,500 per year in energy cost. The extra cost of purchasing the energy efficient compressor will be recovered in the first 4 years of its operations. Even using a discounted cash flow approach to analyze the energy savings over the 15 years life of the compressor indicate that an energy efficient compressor would result in significant savings. In addition, the environment would benefit from the reduction of 7,073 tons of CO2 over the 15-year life of the compressor. So, in this type of decision, the identifiable benefit to an organization could include saving in energy, which is in the example above. Even using a discounted cash flow approach to analyze the energy savings over the 15 years life of the compressor indicate that an energy efficient compressor would result in significant savings. Then, reductions in emissions and the cost of disposing of waste, reduce insurance and cost of cleaning up environmental damage, reduce materials and packaging, and new byproducts that can be sold. This is because the cost of energy can be saved and can be used to produce the new product. Let's move on to the importance of capital expenditure in business. As discussed, smart capital expenditure help business growth. From a long-term financial planning perspective, CapEx analysis helps leaders understand whether an asset offers an attractive rate of return. That way, companies can balance maintaining existing equipment and property with having enough capital to invest in growth. Other important considerations include initial cost, each, depending on the industry, capital expenditure are generally more expensive than acquiring use of the same asset on an operating basis. Think, purchasing a flat vehicle versus leasing or signing on a contract delivery service is critical to understand the long-term benefit of owning an asset. Next, irreversibility. A company will more likely incur losses when undoing a capital expenditure. That's because the market for capital equipment tends to be poor, which means acquired assets are likely better off used by the company itself. So lastly, depreciations. Once an asset is being put to use, depreciation begins and may lead to the increase in an organization assets account. Alright, I think that's all from me. Next, I will pass to Sofiya.
Thank you, Ida Iziana. For the third part, the important factors in making CapEx decision will be presented by me, Sofiya, and Mohamad Aliff. So, capital expenditure decisions are very important and complex. They are long-term in nature and require a large fund outlay. Therefore, all factors should be examined before coming to a final decision on capital investment projects. First, ranking on the capital investment proposal. Sometimes a company has 2 or more profitable projects in hand. If there is only one profitable project out of many and huge amount is available in the hands of management, there is no need of ranking of capital investment proposal. Ranking is necessary if there is many profitable projects in hand and limited funds is available in the hands of management. Second is availability of funds. All the projects are not requiring the same level of investment. Some projects require a huge amount and having high profitability. If the company does not have adequate funds, such projects may be given up. Next, legal compulsions. The management should consider the legal provisions while selecting a project. As in the case of leather and chemical industry, as example, there are a number of legal provisions created to protect environment pollutions. Now, the management gives much importance to legal provisions rather than costs and profits. Next is competitors' activities. Every company should watch the activities of the competitors. The company should take a decision by considering the activities of the competitors. If so, the company can withstand in the competition by implementing new projects. Research and development projects is highly required for technology-based industries. The reason is that there is a lot of changes made within short period in technology. The research and development project gives more benefits in the long run. Hence, profitability is getting less importance and survival of business is getting much importance in the case of research and development project. That's all from me. So for the next point shall be continued by Mohamad Aliff.
Okay, thank you, Sofiya. I'm going to continue on another 5 of qualitative factors of capital expenditure, which are degree of risk and uncertainty. Every proposal involved in the certain risk and uncertainty due to the economic conditions and also competition, demand and supply conditions, also consumer preferences. The degree of risk and uncertainty affects the profitability of the project. Hence, the degree of the risk and uncertainty basically of the project is taken into consideration for selection. Next, for urgency, a project may be selected immediately due to emergency or urgency. The reason is that such immediate selection if the life of the company, example, survival of a company is the primary importance of the other factors. Next, minimum rate of return on investment. Every management expect a minimum rate of return or cut-off rate on a capital investment. Basically, it refers to the point of below which a project would not be accepted. Basically, it is a minimum return that investor will accept for owning a company stock, basically as a compensation for a given level of risk associated with the holding of the stock. Next, obsolescence of the asset. Basically, the replacement of existing fixed asset is compulsory since there is an obsolescence of plant and machinery. Obsolescence basically refers to an asset useful life. Basically, at the end of the useful life, it need to be replaced. Basically, this is a big problem for the companies. Lastly, the intangible factors. So, goodwill of the company, industry relation and safety, also the welfare of the employees are considered while selecting a project instead of considering the profit alone. So these factors are also highly responsible for the selection of any project. I think that's all from me. I'm going to pass to the next presenter, Syafiqah Iman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Aliff. Next, I'll continue with the financial method in analysing capital expenditure, or so-called CapEx.
Qualitative factor may be focused on sustainability impact. However, the first step in analysing CapEx is the quantitative factor before considering whether to continue analysing its sustainability of the investment and making final decision. On the screen, we can see 5 techniques in evaluating capital expenditure proposal financially that managers may use to evaluate their investment decision and use the best method based on information they have. So the first method is net present value, which is NPV. So NPV is used to estimate each potential project's value by using discounted cash flow valuation. This calculation takes all future cash flows from a given operational initiatives and discount them to their present value based on weighted average cost of capital. To evaluate, the higher the NPV, the more attractive the investment proposal. So next, we can see interest rate of return, which is IRR. It's defined as the discount rate that gives a zero NPV. It is commonly used to measure investment efficiency. It can also be described as the rate which will make investment break even. To evaluate, the higher a project's IRR, the more desirable it is to undertake the project. So other than that, we can see payback period is where the period required for the return of investment to repay its sum of the original investment. Payback period indirectly measures how long something takes to pay for itself. Using this method, shorter payback period are preferable than longer payback period. So furthermore, profitability index, which also known as profit investment ratio and value investment ratio, where it is the ratio of payoffs to investment of proposal projects. It is a useful tool for ranking project because it allows to quantify amount of the value created per unit of investment. High value of profitability index makes the proposed project attractive. So lastly, equivalent annuity method, where it expresses the NPV as an annualized cash flow by dividing it with the present value of annuity factor. It is often used when comparing projects of unequal lifespans rather than simply compare the NPVs of several projects. That's all from us. Hope it will help you understand on what capital expenditure analysis is. Thank you.